What is up, Need for Speed racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut, and we're here with something very special. We're calling it the Base Builds, B-A-A-S-S. It's something that Nil's been working on for a while. I've been sitting on these cars for over 2 weeks, most of them. At the end of the day, I can't kick it down the road any farther. I've got to get these out to you. It's awesome. The concept is this: one car, 5 classes. It's decent or meta in all of them. Decent being it's drivable, you can take wins with it. Meta being it's dominant and it's going to crush most of the other cars in that class. Just depends on what class it's in, and I'll let you know as we go along. But at the end of the day, there's people that like a certain car, and if I can bring you a car at every single class, that's a one-stop shop. And it was something Nil was wanting to do. He likes to call them alphabet builds, but the idea is he can get one car, learn how it handles, and then just use it in all the different classes. And so once you're comfortable with how a car kind of slides or turns, you can then really improve on your driving. And so we're going to start with the Testarossa. I've got about 13 or 14 cars that I can do this with. And so it's a new series that we have originated here. Cornnut Racing Crew is first on the scene with this idea, and we want to bring it to you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hang out, be looking for those videos as they drop. And for yourself as a player, if down the road you're like, man, I would like this car in this class, chances are if I've got a base build on it, I've got it built to one of the classes for you for sure, because I've got all 5. So it's a really, really cool idea, and it's going to be more of a one-stop shop for people, so you don't have to scour the internet looking for one specific class build. If I've got the car, I've got 5 builds on it. That's the idea behind it. So let's dig right in. Thank you to Nil for putting in the hard work to do this. It was his pet project, and he's been pushing me for weeks to get these out because we've got a handful of them. But I've been doing other cars, and I've been kicking it down the road because I don't do gameplay footage afterwards. I'm just bringing you 5 builds, and it's just a different style, and it takes me a lot longer to shoot the videos, and so I've been kind of sitting on my hands. But when I'm getting kicked in the butt as much as I am from the Cornnut crew, I can no longer delay. I must bring it to you. And so let's dig right in. First on the list is going to be the B class Ferrari Testarossa Coupe. 158 build. I couldn't get it to 159 with this performance numbers. This car is a socially acceptable pista, as we call it. The engine in this build is the 4.9 liter V8. It is the iron basic motor all the way to the left. It's the first one. It's the cheapest one. You're going to see this one a lot, you guys. For the parts, you are running iron basic induction. You are running Pro Silver ECU. You are running Pro Silver fuel system. You're running iron basic exhaust. Elite Platinum centrifugal supercharger. I tried it with some of the other ones on this build as I've developed it. The centrifugal is the nuts and bolts on this one. It gives it the higher top speed, which is what you need in B class for sure. Elite Platinum nitrous bottle. Elite Platinum road suspension. Sport bronze brakes. We are running Elite Platinum grip tires. It's a full grippy boy, full Beyonce as we do. Silver Pro clutch. Sport bronze 4-speed transmission. You're going to see that transmission a lot in this car. Elite Platinum differential. You can actually get away with the Sport if you want, but everything else is Elite Platinum, so might as well stick that in there too for the most part. Auxiliary, up to you. I'm doing drift. I'm doing grip. We're doing micro drifts. I just did a video explaining that with Cube. Go check that out if you haven't. It's the Porsche Carrera 911 for A-Class. Very, very good tutorial at the end of that video. Handling. All the way to the left, 100% Beyonce, full grip. Steering sensitivity, I'm 2 clicks high. If you're learning to micro drift and you're struggling, you might back that down a little bit. Downforce, I am all the way low. We want this car to get to its top end as fast as possible because at B class, we've got some slayers. Traction control is off. Drift entry, brake tap for those micro drifts. That is going to give you the B-Class Ferrari Testarossa B158 for your PI number. Top speed 127. It'll redline tech. You can go much faster than that. Give it a build if you haven't. 603 on the horsepower, 705 on the torque. Quarter mile doesn't matter. 0 to 60 does not matter. This thing is a slayer. It will struggle to beat pistas because pistas have 900 horsepower. But amongst the other cars, they're pretty good. It's a lot of fun, and it definitely is a very strong B-Class car. Let's move on. A-Class, let's dig right in. This car slaps. It is really, really good. We've got a bunch of personal crew records in it. It's a top speed car, so we've tuned it to the maximum speed we can get out of it, the quickest, so that way you can set personal records with yourself. If you're not running this or the F40, there's a lot of room to improve for sure on your car builds for A. The F40 is the corner king. That thing dominates. This is the top speed car. Like I said, we've had it for a while. We set a bunch of records in it. I've been waiting to do this style of video before I wanted to release it. So sorry to get to you a little later, but it's really, really dominant, you guys. Definitely give it a look. For the engine, we are running the third motor over. It is super mega important you guys pay attention here. 1, 2, 3. It is the Sport Bronze 414 brake horsepower 4.0 liter V8. There's two 4.0 V8s. That's why I'm very specific about this. You've got to run the third one. Don't get it confused with the 542. Not the second, but the third motor, you guys. For the parts, you are running Silver Pro induction. You are running Bronze Sport ECU. You are running Bronze Sport fuel system. You are running Bronze Sport exhaust. You are running Bronze Sport single turbo. Bronze Sport nitrous. Elite Platinum road suspension. Bronze Sport brakes. Elite Platinum grip tires. Sport Bronze clutch. Sport Bronze 4-speed transmission. And like we do, you can run the Sport differential Bronze or you can run the Elite. I always default to the Elites when I start my builds, but you can get away with Sport Bronze and still go full Beyonce. Auxiliary is nitrous drift, nitrous grip. We do micro drift this car in A-Class, so you want to have both of those equipped. For the handling, full Beyonce, 100% grip to the left. Steering sensitivity, 2 clicks up. Downforce all the way low. Like I said, this is a speed car set up for the highest speed you can get in A-Class. Run it low, you guys. Traction control is off. Drift entry is brake tap. I want to point out something for you guys. The engine that we use in all of the other builds is the 4.8 liter. Or excuse me, the 4.9 liter V8. You can buy this motor, the third one over, and own that motor. And you can make this build for all of the classes with one car. It'll save you a fortune. I will discuss that later when I get to the S Plus one. But just know that if you own just those two motors, you can do all of the builds that I'm bringing to you today and save yourself a lot of coin. This A build finishes us out at 480 brake horsepower, king dingaling. Max torque 328. 172 top speed, and yes, it does do that. It'll actually do a little better than that with Redline Tech because of that turbo. This car is awesome in A. It breaks a lot of records, especially on the speed tracks. If you don't have it, you need to build this one. Give mine a go. It's really solid, you guys. I think you're going to love it. Let's move on to A+. Here we are. It's A+. Let's dig right in. There are some changes from the last time you guys have seen me do this build. If you want the most optimal all-around A+ car for this car, go look at my other build video. It says the 200 mile an hour top speed because that's what it did at the time. We've made some changes. As you guys know, we're doing blacklist racing here on the Cornnut crew. That's a lot of fun. We're fighting for position just like Most Wanted, blacklist racing. There are no rules. So When somebody's picking a playlist to go racing, like I was picking against Coupe, I needed every advantage I could get because Coupe is fast. He's one of the best racers around. And so I played to my strengths, played to his weaknesses. He's not in love with speedless. I was like, I love speedless. Let's do that. So I built cars around mixed tier playlists specifically for the fact to go beat him. This is my A+ speedless car. Let me show you the differences. Let's dig right in. The engine is the 4.9 liter V8. Like I said, you'd see it again. It's the iron basic. Parts: silver pro induction, bronze sport ECU, super gold fuel system, super gold exhaust, elite platinum centrifugal supercharger. That's on there because that gives us a higher top speed. This car will do 213, 215 in A+. God, this will walk on most S-Class cars. So when you're doing speed races, this is king dingling. It gets it done. Bronze sport nitrous, elite platinum road suspension, bronze sport brakes, elite platinum grip tires, bronze sport clutch, bronze sport 4-speed transmission, elite platinum differential. You can run the sport differential. It gives you enough slider to play with. So if you're saving money, go do that. For the speedless in A+, I have my auxiliary set to nitrous grip, nitrous near miss. That way you can get those oncoming or in the same lane as you when you're flying by them and build that boost bottle to get every advantage you can on your opponents. For the handling, full Beyonce, 100% grip. You guys know the game. Steering sensitivity, 2 clicks to the right off the center. Downforce, 1 click from all the way low. That's 270. That is 269. Nice. So run it almost all the way low, 1 click off of that. Traction control off. Drift entry is brake tap, but that is for consistency, not because I'm running this car with any kind of drift. That is going to give you a top speed of 208. Like I said prior, it'll do 213, 215 with Redline Tech and some boost. 770 on the horsepower, 887 on the torque. Quarter mile doesn't matter, 0 to 60 doesn't matter. This thing slays. And if you're coming to show up on my blacklist, you're going to need every advantage you can get. So this is your speedless car for the top speed races, you guys. Let's move on to S. All right, let's dig into it. We've got the S-Class Slayer. We're running speed races with this car. We've made some changes from the last build. I tried to get maximum optimal speed out of this car because that's what it does best. And so this build is different than the one I just released last week. Once again, we come in, we're always tweaking stuff. And so we're getting you updated builds across the board. If you liked the last one was good. This one is insane. 232 in S-Class. It's faster than a lot of S+ cars when it comes to the top speed. You only do that on 2 or 3 tracks, but if you're running blacklist racing with us, you need to have something that goes that fast for specific tracks. Let's dig in. For the performance engine side of things, we've seen it before. This is it again. 4.9 liter V8, iron basic all the way to the left. For the parts, you are running elite platinum intake or induction. You are running elite platinum ECU. You are running super gold fuel system. You are running super gold exhaust. Elite platinum centrifugal supercharger. Once again, we run that specifically for the top speed. What it gives the car at the top end of things is nuts. Going fast is fun. This helps you do that. It doesn't accelerate as hard, but it doesn't matter because you're using boost and everything else to supplement that so you can get to that top speed and walk away from everything. When you are 30 mile an hour faster than every other car in the class you're racing, that's a huge difference. You can put the gap on people, and we take them to Gapplebee's. Sport bronze nitrous. Elite Platinum Road Suspension. Bronze Sport Brakes. Elite Platinum Grip Tires. Bronze Sport Clutch. Bronze Sport 4-speed transmission. You can run the Sport differential. I run the Elite Platinum one just by default when I'm building cars, but you can run the Sport one to save yourself some money, you guys. Nitrous Drift, Nitrous Grip. I built this car for Fishhook. Fishhook's got 3 corners where you're going to actually use that drift to get sliding around. Having as much boost as possible to get out of those tight corners is where it's at on this car, you guys. It's a lot of fun to go 230 in an S-Class race. Handling. 100% grip, full Beyonce. Nothing's changing here, you guys. Steering sensitivity, 2 clicks off of normal, or to the right to the high side for me. Downforce all the way low. Turn it down, get this car flying. It will bounce and it will fly if you get just a little bit of elevation change. So just be aware of that. This thing is rowdy. But when you're going 230, why not be a little rowdy? Traction control is off. Drift entry, brake tap. You're going to see that everywhere. Going to give you a top speed of 225. That is a false number. This will do well over 230 with that red line tech that we've talked about plenty of times in the past. 1,102 brake horsepower. 1,252 foot-pound of torque. Quarter mile doesn't matter. 0 to 60 doesn't matter. This car is the land speed record holder in S. It's a lot of fun. Let's move on to the final build, S+. We've done it, you guys. We've reached peak performance for the Testarossa S+. There's a couple nuances with this car. I want to kind of go over them with you, but at the end of the day, this is the one. This is the speed list taker. This car's really fast at S+. It doesn't do too bad. It's not the best. I mean, the Regera still exists. The Ferrari FXXK Evo still exists. But this will get you by. And when you're doing the base builds, you got to have it at S+, right? Let's dig in. Engine, 4.9 liter V8. Iron Basic all the way to the left, you guys. For the parts, Elite Platinum everything. No, except for the transmission. We might talk about that. So, Elite Platinum induction. Elite Platinum ECU. Elite Platinum fuel system. Elite Platinum exhaust. Elite Platinum single turbo. If you do these other ones, it takes your top speed away and we lose horsepower. So you guys want to do the single turbo. Elite Platinum nitrous. Elite Platinum road suspension. Elite Platinum brakes, because why not? It's S+, we can do whatever we want. Elite Platinum grip tires. Elite Platinum clutch. I'm running the 6-speed Pro Silver transmission for the S+ build. You can do Sport differential. You don't need to go all the way to Elite. Save your money if you want. But let's be bougie. Elite differential. Platinum. Nitrous grip, nitrous drift, because in S+ you do use it. What I wanted to talk about is this. You can do the 4-speed transmission. It says it reduces your overall quarter mile and your 0 to 60. It does. Nil prefers it with the 4-speed because he says it performs just like the Regera. You get over about 130 mile an hour, you click into 4th, and you're just in 4th for the rest of the journey. Like, that's just it. You don't have to worry about shifting. You're just like 1 speed all the time. But it really greatly reduces your PI number, and there's nowhere to put better parts in it. So for the sake of bringing you the best build, I'm running the 6-speed, but I would encourage you guys to try it with the 4-speed because the top speed stays the same. So if you want to shift less and you want to go have some fun, you might try it with the 4-speed just to see. It's pretty wild doing it that way. It's a lot of fun. Another note, if you guys take the brakes and you go to Sport, like on every other build, and you guys take the clutch and you go to Sport, like every other build. And you guys take the transmission and you go to the 4-speed, like every other build. You now have your chassis and drivetrain set up the same. We use this engine in a lot of different builds. Only the A-Class one uses a different motor. What you can do is this. Leave the chassis and the drivetrain alone. Go to your engines. Equip your 4.9 liter V8. Let me go back. Basically, you can do one car chassis setup for all of the builds. Like all of the parts you buy for the basic iron motor, you can just change the configuration and keep one car. You can buy the 4.0 liter V8 and shove that in there and then build it to the A-Class one that I've got and then just switch motors. I haven't done that on this car, but you could do that. So buy one car, buy all the parts, save yourself a small fortune, and then just slot the car in wherever you think it's good. Or if you want to have 5 Testarossas in your garage like I do right now, you can do that too. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but if you're balling on a budget but you want to try this car at every class, do that. Buy the car, buy the engines, and then just tune them that way, and then only adjust the parts based on what class you want to be in. And unless you're doing the S Plus, you don't touch the brakes and you don't touch the clutch or the transmission. And so you can really shave a lot of money off of a build for every class by doing it that way. You can use one Testarossa across the board. Mind you, you'll have to go change the parts every time you want to change tiers with it, whereas this way, it doesn't matter what playlist pops up, you can go full Testarossa boy. So keep that in mind, you guys. Other than that, I'm Alex Cornnut, your wheelman. I am thankful for all of you guys. Keep an eye out for more of these base builds. We're going to be bringing them out to you. I'm happy to do it. Come and check me out on stream. Come and race with us. Come and join the Cornnut crew. We're dropping the blacklist real soon. We're going to be getting that out to all of you guys so you can come and race with us and try to be a part of the blacklist. We're trying to blow that up. It would be really cool to have everybody around. If we get enough people involved, I might start doing it by country or continent, because I've got a lot of people in Europe that are on different time zones than all the people in the North American continent. So, it depends on what we need to do, but if we get enough people participating, I will do whatever is necessary to make it good for all of us. So be ready for that. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.